What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Driver's Edition. Today's video, it's just a quick response, I guess. I'll just be upfront about it. Brink of Speed dropped the video talking about the new information on the Z06 production start day information. And I got a couple text messages this morning and some messages on Facebook and so forth. So I think I should talk about it. You let me know. But so my thing is new production start date information for the Corvette Z06. But is it really new? Let's talk about it. Okay, so I'm having this conversation from my favorite place inside my Corvette C8, driving around, having a discussion. So let's get into this topic. Brink of Speed dropped the video. I took a quick glance at it, and he brought up some very key points. So I would like to thank him for bringing it up. It's a conversation worth having, and it should be handled delicately. So with that being said, I ask you, is it really new information? And the reason why I say that to you, because if this is your first time tuning in, thank you for stopping by. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Driver Edition community. We talk about all the latest information we can about car info. A lot of Z06 information has been kind of dominating the market lately, but we're truly car enthusiasts over here. We like vehicles. We like if you customize your vehicles and so forth. Nothing but love, no hate on this channel. So with that being said, I say it's new information because if you follow the channel before, a lot of his key points I have been stating since back in maybe June of last year of 2021 that these things were going to happen. And what I'm starting to realize, or what I'm starting to see, is he has a bigger fan base. He has a bigger following. So like I said, it's nice of him to get the information out there. But when he says he have sources that's dropping this information and he can contact the Corvette blogger, see the person that runs the Corvette blogger, it has a different impact. But overall, the information that we're talking about has been the common thing. Chip shortages that was taking place in 2020 and 2021 and for the 2022 Corvette model year. You don't have to have a contact to actually know that you can't all of a sudden expect for 2023 that not to actually be a problem. Back in 2021, I was telling people right before the 2022 model year started that I was hearing there was a shortage when it came to carbon fiber. My contacts were more so on the aftermarket side. So before they even did the Z06 reveal, I was telling people that, hey, you can't build the most track-focused car and not have carbon fiber. GM is going to be affected by a carbon fiber shortage coming up soon. And people told me I was crazy. And like I was explaining to them is, when you can't get it on the aftermarket side, it's only a matter of time before on the corporate side you can't get it. But people were telling me that GM dollar and pockets was so deep that they wouldn't run across that problem because they were buying out all the carbon fiber from the smaller guys and so forth. So I guess that information might have been true, but now it's a problem. The same thing I said when it came down to aluminum shortages. When I first heard that was coming up, and I was telling people that cars are made with aluminum. Well, now, or aluminium, you know, for those that follow. I do have a lot of foreign market people that follow and correct me on these things, so aluminium. But my point is that at some point that was going to become a problem. Now, after the Corvette reveal, I dropped the video and got heavily criticized for sitting there saying that, hey, they never said the Z06 was going to be produced early in the year. They just said it will be released for the summer of 2022. I said, that's usually always the case. Most cars are delivered in August or sometime early September because the summer technically doesn't end to mid-September. Where I do notice in his video, he actually gives you the date saying September 21st is the first day of fall. So again, the information that he's bringing up, we've kind of already discussed on this channel. So my question is it really new? Well, it's new to those that haven't heard it before, and it's new to people that haven't really followed what's going on in the world, because the C8 Z06 will not be able to avoid any of the normal constraint issues that's been happening with the base C8. Another topic that he brought up, and I've been hot on this one, is he mentioned something about dealers changing up order numbers. I said that was going to happen back when the Z06 was revealed, and that was another heavy thing I got criticized on. But my response was, I used to work in the car industry, so when GM usually releases a product, most manufacturers do the same thing. They usually release the high-end, the most optioned out vehicles first. Even if it doesn't check the box on every option, it's going to check the box on a lot of options. So if you were looking to order a base Z06, regardless if you were number one in line, they were not going to take your order. And I was told, oh, dealers will never do this and so forth. And now in the past month, that's becoming a hot topic. Now, I'm not going to say any names, but I was a larger YouTube channel took a jab at me, and it's okay. You know, I just take it as a compliment. But the person actually mentioned that sometimes what we do with smaller YouTube channel is just take the information they provide and then restate it like it's something new on our side. Well, here's my point with it, is that I mentioned it just like I said to you before, and I brought this up last year. The comments been in Corvette chat groups on Facebook and so forth, and I've let it be known that GM is not going to take the low, or I'm not going to say GM, but yeah, let's just say GM, that when it comes time to release the Z06, because they're backing so much behind it, that you won't see just a low version base model Z06 released early in the game. You probably have to wait almost, I'll say, somewhere between the 3 to 6 month mark, and then maybe go 6 to 9. But that's how long before you see an actual base Z06 get accepted and put out, because when they release it, they want to release the most tricked out, optioned out versions, so it really does what GM is pushing the marketplace. Well, I know a few other channels came out and said this information within the last month, and when they mentioned it in the last month, I went back to reiterating again. So it's like, now, you know, as you're hearing from bigger channels, which most people, when you hear from Rick Conti or from YouTubers who have over 100,000 subscribers, or let's just say over 30,000 subscribers, it tends to carry more weight. But my point behind saying it to you is, you don't have to look. I'm not a large channel. I'm a one-man operation. I have a daily job. I have a job that's very significant in what I do. So I don't always get to drop the content or the information when I hear it, because I still have friends in the car business. I don't get to drop it as quick as I would like, but I still try to get it out. And so my point behind saying it to you is, so when I say, yes, this is what's going to happen, it's because of my experience in the selling cars. When I've experienced that for over 8-9 years in car sales, and you see it when they release new models, like the Chevy Camaro when it first came out, I believe in 2009, when the C7 Corvette came out, when you see it with the new Impala, when you see it with the G8, when you see it with the, you know, Cadillac Escalade, and the list just keeps going on and on and on. When you see it with these vehicles when they first debut, just like now with the new 2022 Hummer EV, all the high-end Hummer EVs are pretty much spoken for, and that's what you see hitting the market first. So that to me was no new information. That's just a good observation. And so now I'm hearing people talk about it as if it's new news, and that was one of the reasons why I told people up front when I started this whole conversation with chasing the C8 Z06 is something I'm doing. If you haven't looked into it, some great information come behind it. But even with that, when I got some more information, but I just sit there and say this to you, I'm starting to get kind of nervous with that, only because the market keeps changing. So even when I give you the latest information changes again. But we'll get back on that. But I say that to you just using that as a reference, is that when you have good observation, you can actually give information that people just don't think about. So when I told people I feel like I can still get a C8 Z06 without being on the list, part of my reason for saying so was because I know how it's going to play out. And what I mean by know how it's going to play out is a lot of people that were on lists, but they're not looking to spend money. And I say looking to spend money, meaning that dealers are going to ask for over MSRP pricing. That's a given. At least a large amount of them are. And not only are you going to see that, when GM says you have to order cars a certain spec way, how many people are really ready to step up to a 3LT? I am. How many people are looking to get a lot of options on their C8 Z06? A lot of people aren't. Especially people that say, oh, the C8 Z06 is the perfect track car, and they come out and say they're looking for a 1LT with a Z07 package because they want the lightest car so they can have the best performance when it comes out. So you're not really looking to spend that money. Not saying you won't get you a car, but what I'm sitting there saying is even if you're number one at your dealer, 9 times out of 10, your order is not going to get taken early in the game. And once, and I'm going to repeat this again, once the dealers start hopping people and so forth to fill the orders that GM will likely take early in the market, the list goes out the window. Not so much it goes out the window, whereas it doesn't matter, but at this point, anybody that's willing to pay more money than you, 9 times out of 10 will jump you in line. And that's what I know. I'm expecting that to happen. I'm giving you the honest truth now. I'm expecting that to happen probably the first 6 months of once orders can be placed for the C8 Z06. It's not much you're going to be able to do about it. And I think Brink of Speed even had a conversation about it. Well, I'm not even going to say I think. He started mentioning it in his little video. And Rick Conti had a point where he asked about it, like, what should we do and so forth, yada, yada. Because no matter what they do, somebody's going to be mad. But at the end of the day, you start talking about it now, and that's what I feel like they're doing. You start talking about it now, so when it happens, people aren't blindsided by it. So no matter how you look at this, it's going to happen. Some dealers are going to say, and I'm going to say some, but it's probably going to be most. Most dealers that get a lot of allocations early in the game are going to jump a couple of their customers, or they're going to ask you to get a car completely over-spec'd than you probably are willing to pay, just so you can get your order in. So be prepared for that. And like I said, when that happens, my plan was to try to find a way in. But honestly, and I'll just be honest with you, one of my biggest issues now is, if you saw my last episode of Chasing the C8 Z06, is that one of the dealers that reached out to me and said, hey, they would give me an early allocation for one of their top 5 allocations for a certain amount of dollars. Well, the information with that is, and this has always been my thing, I really don't like to commit my money, because once you give a person your money, it takes you out the market. It doesn't change the fact that the marketplace is going on. It doesn't change the fact that dealers will still make deals to move cars. So I always tell people, you're better off holding on to your money, because that is the key. Yes, you may not get early, but you'll find a way. If you actually put in the effort and the work, you will find a way to get a car, because money talks. And if I already have your money, you're not going anywhere. I don't have his money. So I may make a deal with him to get his money that you don't know about, and I just tell you something else came up and I push you back, but I already got your money. You're not going away. You'll be a little mad. You'll be a little frustrated. Hey, guess what? I throw you a dealership hat maybe some Corvette swag, and it's all good. That's how the game works. If that's happened to you, you're learning. Yeah, you may be mad. I throw you some Corvette swag, give you a dealership hat, maybe throw a free oil change. Who really cares? Because that is all minute. That is cheap. That is an easy object to do just to get a car out. So if I throw you a free oil change or some dealership swag just to make up for something that happened, I'll do that all day long. If I can make $15,000 over here, why not give you a $100 oil change? Who cares? Think about that. That's how the game works. If you don't know that, now you're learning some knowledge. But overall, just wanted to drop this quick video to sit there and say, hey, it is a lot of information that Brink of Speed shared. He is probably 100% accurate on most of the stuff he talked about. Like I said before, there was a carbon fiber shortage. I knew it was coming. Honestly, I didn't expect the company to go out of business. I just knew they were, or I didn't expect one of GM's suppliers with carbon fiber to go out of business. I knew that they were having a hard time producing based off materials on the market. So that one was new information for me. The magnetic ride, we already know, is on the current constraint list. Z51 packages now being forced, which to me just an abundance to get rid of packages, because I think they're expecting or anticipating, and this is just me, so you hear it here first, they're anticipating that a large amount of the Corvettes going forward will be C8 Z06s, and whenever the E-Ray comes out, that's going to dominate production. Now, I say that to you because if you look at history, once the Grand Sport came out, the base C8 and the base C8 Z51 sales almost diminished. So I feel like part of the reason why they're forcing the Z51 package on is because you're probably going to, once the C8 Z06 hits the market, we're probably going to get a new update on the replacement for the Grand Sport. And once that car comes out, especially if it's going to be a mid-level, and I say mid-level, in-between cost of the C8 Z06 and the base C8, it's probably going to pick up more of most of the Corvette sales, which will then make the Z51 package that everybody is so much crazy about now almost obsolete or an afterthought. So GM is thinking long game. Most people think short-minded, and that's why I tell you, if you think with a short mind or you just look at what's directly in front of you, you miss the bigger picture. And that's all I'm sitting there saying. Most of this information that Brink of Speed brought out, I've talked about before. So go back, take a look at my videos. I know not all the videos are the best quality, but the information is accurate and it's always honest. I tell you for what I see, because like I said, you can look at a marketplace, you can look at what's going on, and you can predict what's about to happen. As history states, once the Grand Sport hits the market, Z51 Corvettes and base C8s, for their sales drop dramatically. And if I feel like the E-Ray is right around the corner, or whatever's coming out to replace the Grand Sport is right around the corner, and when it hits the market, GM is anticipating that the Z51 package will be an afterthought. So that's my intake, that's my opinion, that's my information I'm going to share on this topic. Again, shout out to Brink of Speed, Rick Conti, all the Corvette content providers for YouTube. Thanks for sharing the information. Again, ICNV Driver's Edition. I'm just giving my 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, join the ICNV Driver's Edition community. Share the video. It's a lot of information out there. Like I said, I'm not a huge YouTube channel as of yet. I'm growing. But I do give out accurate information. I give out honest information. I give you information from a salesman point of view, from a person that's been in the car business, from a true car enthusiast. So I just call it how I see it. And I share information that most people may not even think about, or not explain to you when you have questions why things are the way they are, or why the things are happening and why they play out the way they do. So till the next video, be safe. See you in these streets. Stay blessed. Peace. Until the next video.